doesn't anybody watch this show? God, you people, get a life! Get a life! Alright, now I remember who I am. I'm Sir David the Bard, and I'm coming to you from the Stratosphere Hotel here in Las Vegas. It's a nice place. Last time I was here, in the middle of the night, they had a fire. I was on the 16th floor. I couldn't even walk down 4 floors, so I just rolled down the other 8. Anyway, 8, 10, 16. Anyway, the Mormon said, see, he can't even add. He's lying. He's a liar. Anyway, I wanted to do something here on the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm a kid of the 60s, and I'm 60. I keep saying I'm 68. I'm not. I'm 66. And I remember when the Dead Sea Scrolls made a big public relations upheaval in the Mormon Church. I just briefly know they were discovered in 1947, the year before I was born. I was born in 48, so, you know, God was busy, I guess, before I was born. Anyway, the scrolls mostly are in Hebrew, and I guess found in about, I forget how many caves, many. And some of them are fairly intact, most of them are just pieces. Well, the Mormon Church believed in the 60s that the Dead Sea Scrolls were going to go, dear world, the Mormon Church is true and Joseph is a true prophet. All of you grab a 14-year-old and let's have a party. Never happened. Never happened. There was a tension in the Mormon Church that the Dead Sea Scrolls were going to validate the Book of Mormon. Going to validate Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, and the silly circus. I like that. Silly circus. And another quote for Anna. Anyway, it never happened. Now, when I was at BYU, seems I was at BYU, one of the professors, who was the original professors trying to unravel what the Dead Sea Scrolls were saying, was at BYU, and there were a couple of other BYU professors working on extracting information from the rolls. And of course BYU was hoping it would say, you know, Joseph Smith was a true prophet. I know that the Book of Mormon is, you know, they were looking for a testimony of their cult religion. Never happened. Never happened. Now it's still trying to happen. I have a link down below. You can see this Yulikov, I forget his name. I think he's the only member of the first presidency. He's from another country. And he went on a tour. They have some of the dead, or maybe all of the Dead Sea Scrolls here in the Salt Lake area in a museum. And you can go in and pay money. The Mormons. Is there anything free in the Mormon Church? Yes. All of the 8th grade girls who are 14 are free to all Mormons, according to Joseph Smith. Anyway, he went on a tour, and they had a special BYU professor with him trying to blow smoke up his ass that it had anything to do with the Mormon Church. They're not one thing! Just like the Book of Mormon, there's no artifacts. Millions of men died by Hill Cumorah, and there's not one sword, not one breastplate, there's not one shield, there's not one anything. There is no archaeological evidence of the Book of Mormon. Now again, in the 60s, the Mormon Church was sending groups down to the Mayas and the Incas and the Aztec ruins in Mexico, hoping that they would find a bent-over Angel Moroni in the dirt with a trumpet in his hand. It never happened. There's not one archaeological piece of evidence that the Book of Mormon people ever existed. And now, of course, DNA says the Indian people came from Asian DNA and cultures, and the people from Jerusalem had nothing to do with settling America. So anyway, it just goes on and on and on. Well, The Mormons, when they saw the Dead Sea Scrolls, they went into a rain dance. Sorry, Indians. What are you called now? You're called Native Americans. Boy, there's some good-looking women in that group. And men. That's a beautiful group of people. Anyway, the Mormon Church saw those Dead Sea Scrolls and said, we know it's going to bear testimony of our religion. It never happened. It's still not happening. It will never happen. Now, I'm going to be honest. There are some names of people in the Dead Sea Scrolls that also apparently are in the Book of Mormon. Now, I was just trying to research this a few minutes ago, and I thought, well, I'll get to it. It's going to take some time. The argument with the Mormons is those names were not known at the time Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon. How the hell did he come up with those names? I have to admit, that's a pretty good question. And there should be a damn good answer. Where the answer is, I don't know. I'm going to research it a little bit. When I find the answer, I'll report it to you. And I may come back and be rebaptized. We know 4, 5, or 7 of those names were known before Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon. But anyway, the others that were not known, we know that Joseph Smith and many of his cohorts, his co-conspirators, took Hebrew school. And I knew a little bit about Hebrew, just enough to get in trouble and maybe make those names up. But making those names up is impossible. The statistical odds are astronomical. There's like 9 or 10 names, and to make those up and it matches exactly some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, there has to be an answer. So, you know, I know the Mormons go, see, it's true. Finally, you know, we'll research it and find that Joseph Smith had him in Hebrew school or some other place. Anyways, a nice link down below, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, as far as the Mormon Church, they're dead. They do not verify anything in the Mormon Church. There is the ambiguity that there are some names that can't be explained. So I'm going to tell the truth. I don't know the answer to that. If I find it, I'll give it to you. If I don't find it, I'll pretend that I know. No, I'll just say to you, I don't know. So anyway, health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins, and you know the rest of it. Take a look at that link down below, and you'll see that the Dead Sea Scrolls have nothing to do with the Mormon Church. They've never testified, and they've never verified the Mormon Church. Thanks. Bart gone.